Hello and welcome. I am Sunyin Xiang, class of 96 and Fuqua class of 02, and I am honored to be with you today on behalf of Duke alumni to present the Beyond Duke Service and Leadership Awards. As Executive Director of the Fuqua Coach K Center on Leadership and Ethics, I explore stories of leadership and service across industries, and I can tell you that you are about to hear some truly special Duke stories. The Beyond Duke Award honorees are inspiring leaders. They're making choices to live lives of significance. And every day they go above and beyond, making extraordinary contributions of service to others all around the world. I know you will join me in celebrating these Duke alumni and the profound impact that they're making. So let's begin with our first of the Beyond Duke Service and Leadership Awards. Patricia Deza, class of 2016, may be the youngest in this year's cohort of the Beyond Duke Awards, but she embodies qualities of a seasoned leader. Her talent for collaboration is evident when she speaks more about her team than about herself. She is committed to investing in the success of others, and in the few years since she has moved beyond Duke, she has quickly become an exemplary mentor and leader for women in finance in Latin America.
I founded this organization with a group of other young professional women when I had just graduated from Duke and when I started working here in Peru. And what I noticed was that there weren't that many women in the financial services industry, and there weren't that many spaces where we could meet each other, where we could network, where we could honestly help each other with our careers. After seeing all of the opportunities that we had at Duke, especially with like Duke business-oriented women, I saw an opportunity for us to create something sort of similar here in Peru and in Latin America. And that's the reason why I decided to found Women in Finance LATAM. What drew me to the mission of gender equality in the financial services industry was the fact that in my life, I have always been surrounded by really strong and intelligent women. And I wanted other women who were like me to have those types of role models. And that's why one of the first programs that I helped create for Women in Finance LATAM was a mentoring program that paired a young female professional with a more senior female executive so that she could act as a role model, as a guide, and show her that, you know, she could dream big and make her dreams come true in this industry.
In 2021, I joined the Women in Finance staff as director for the University Students Mentorship Program, and I got the chance to work directly with Patricia as the organization leader. In my opinion, what makes her a great leader for Women in Finance is first, that she really cares about this cause. Second, that she cares about the team. I've always found in her a person who I can trust for help. And third, that she's really organized and hardworking, which allows her to handle the workload of having a full-time job and at the same time running the organization. And that's something I have to thank Patricia for, not only for her leadership in the organization, but also because she contacted me directly to be a part of this program. And it was one of the most gratifying things I've done in my life. In my personal experience as a mentor, I found it very inspiring to talk to these young women and see them grow, gain confidence in themselves, share their common insecurities and fears, and inspire one another with their different and unique stories. So in that sense, I believe that the future of this program is to keep opening doors for more and more women, but also for a more diverse group of women, which means growing the program both in scale and in diversity.
I don't think I could have had a better experience at Duke. Those were some of the best years of my life. For me, one of the things that I enjoyed the most was the student body and how diverse it was. And that's something that's not necessarily common at Latin American universities. So it's something that I really appreciated, that diversity. Vast Connections was also one of my favorite experiences at Duke. I was lucky to study economic inequality and human development in Appalachia. As a Latin American student who was never exposed to some of the economic challenges that Americans can face, this was really interesting for me. and that allowed me to develop the leadership skills that I needed to found a program or an organization like Women in Finance Latam. What's next for me is I want to continue to grow in the financial services industry. It's an industry that I'm passionate about, that has challenged me every day. And I hope to continue to support other women in this field and continue to encourage them to reach their full potential.
Lucas Metropulos, class of 2015, has accomplished a great deal since launching his first charity as a teen. Now, you might say that he has applied the growth mindset to community service. His undergraduate Duke Engage project evolved into a second charity called Lend a Hand Bahamas. After building a successful community center, they have just recently broken ground on a new facility. In the meantime, Lucas has returned to Duke to hone his finance and strategy skills at the Fuqua School of Business, specifically so that he can leverage future opportunities for an even greater impact in marginalized communities.
I founded the organization Lend a Hand Bahamas in Nassau, Bahamas back when I was maybe 21 or 22 years old. And in large part, it was following my Duke Engage experience that I had submitted as an independent project, staying for 8 weeks in the summer of 2012, and then coming back the next summer, mostly because of all of the interactions and connections I made with folks that I was working with and hearing the great need in this particular community in downtown Nassau, where they really wanted to try to build a community center. And so I became involved, began help fundraising when I was 21, 22, which was quite stressful, but quite rewarding. And fast forward a few years, we raised the money, we built the center, recruited a great staff to work with us, and led by Mitzi Ann Burrows, who's our executive director currently, who gives, tirelessly to growing that program and working with the children and their families. Our staff is really what makes it such a special place. These are people that go above and beyond daily to make an impact in one of the roughest areas to work in the country.
Lucas has spent years giving back to communities in Florida and in the Bahamas. As a teenager, he founded the organization Fishing for Families in Need in South Florida to help children learn to fish and to be a steward of the ocean. In addition, he worked with fishing tournaments to use the fish caught during the tournaments in local soup kitchen. He didn't stop there. He then started Lend a Hand Bahamas to help communities in Nassau, Bahamas. His organization was able to construct a community center for an impoverished area in Grantstown in Nassau. The community center is the first in the area for its residents. Lend a Hand Bahamas has stepped up to help when Hurricane Dorian brought devastation to not only the resident in Nassau, but also the resident of Abaco, which was destroyed by the hurricane. Lend a Hand Bahamas has recently been providing weekly emergency food distribution for those affected by COVID-19 crisis. We started in a church hall with only 36 youths, and with the tremendous work that has been done in imparting the 4-H curriculum under the University of Florida and programs that were implemented, we found that there was a community buy-in, and the entire community started to want to be a participant in the programs. So we moved from 36 students into 146 youths and 38 adults. We had an opportunity as Lend a Hand to participate in the food distribution in Hurricane Dorian. As it is stated, we're in an impoverished area where it's known for gang and violence. When Lucas just came in to that area, he saw the need and he started out with this basketball tournament. And from the basketball tournament, we had Peace Initiative. When you find that you would have a student walking up to you that would have been recruited for a gang and would have been in a fight in school, and after a program came over to you and say to you that, thanks very much, because this is a safe space for us. And so that has brought Lend a Hand to the growth that it is today. We even have young boys that were incarcerated. They find it a space that they could come in to stay away from trouble because it's based on resiliency and sustainability. It has been having a positive impact, and we wish to continue. Thanks to Lucas, he bridged the gap. When he came into that community, and saw the need and said, look here, there is help just beyond what we see.
To be nominated for this award and to receive it from Duke and the folks who nominated me, as well as the whole Duke community, is a big honor for me. My dream was to come to Duke undergrad. When I chose to apply to Duke, it was my number one choice, and for a variety of reasons. But one thing that inspired me was actually knowing a few of the alumni and seeing sort of how they turned out, but also hearing all the experiences they took part in at the school. When I came as a freshman and quickly as a sophomore and on, I participated in programs like Duke Engage, where Duke Engage actually led me through that summer experience as an independent project, actually led me to create a charity in the Bahamas called Lend a Hand Bahamas that I've been so involved in over the years. I'm someone who thrives on learning by doing, and to have a lot of classes here and programs where professors just involved you so much in experiences out of the classroom, I found that extremely beneficial and really helped shape who I am and a lot of the service work I do today. As I consider what's next, one thing is for sure, that with all of the service work and social entrepreneurial work that I've been involved in, I'm certain that's going to be a part of my life for years to come. And so looking forward to continuing to grow the programs, the charity work that I've started personally in the Bahamas and in South Florida, but also with the countless organizations that I also volunteer and work with across the US and the Caribbean and South America, helping them grow, fulfill their mission, have deeper impact. That's definitely going to be a big part of my life moving forward, well at Duke, but also beyond.
Carla Davis's journey of leadership and service is truly one of knowledge in the service of society. Carla's interest in immunology was born from her intellectual curiosity as a medical student at Duke. Since graduating in 1996, she has built a career not only as a leader in food allergy research, but in serving those patients and families faced with the life-threatening challenges of food allergies. She has made her passion her purpose.
I was drawn to the field of immunology while I was at Duke Medical School, when I had the opportunity to do research in the lab of Dr. Mary Louise Markert, who was developing a treatment for a severe immunodeficiency called complete DiGeorge syndrome. Immunology became fascinating to me at that time, and when I entered into my residency, when I saw the patients that were impacted by food allergies, I realized this was a disease that needed more research. This disease causes life-threatening anaphylaxis, as well as significantly impaired quality of life, and I wanted to make a difference. So I decided to focus on helping children with food allergies and their families. It was just an amazing thing to be involved with innovation. And that experience has carried with me throughout my medical career. Duke gave me the rigor and attention to detail in medicine that I needed in order to become a physician scientist. So I'm very grateful.
For many children, a superhero does not fly through the air, wear a cape, or boast supernatural strength. A superhero is a woman in a white coat with a warm smile. For many children, living with food allergies is a part of life, where each meal or snack brings an underlying threat of a life-threatening allergic reaction and the anxiousness that is paired with that fear. Bullying at school because of food allergies is a way of life. You cannot eat what your parents, siblings, friends, and classmates eat. But thanks to the tireless work of Dr. Carla Davis, for many of these children, the risk of a life or death reaction to a food allergen is no longer a reality. Dr. Davis has devoted her career to treating and researching food allergies and is an international pioneer in food allergy medicine, and has completely changed the landscape of food allergy education and treatment in Houston, in Texas generally, and internationally. Dr. Davis built the Texas Children's Hospital Food Allergy Program from non-existent to a leading facility in 5 years. She has revolutionized the way Houston's teachers and schools address food allergies. More than anything, For many children, Dr. Davis has made their lives safer and more inclusive. A simple act of eating an M&M, which previously would have been perilous, is now possible.
I am the proudest of a specific aspect of the Texas Children's Hospital Food Allergy Program, and that is our Food Allergy Family Network that we affectionately call FAFN. When I started seeing patients with food allergies, many parents would tell me they had no one to talk with, they felt like they were alone, and it was terrifying. Over time, we developed a network of families, and these leaders volunteered to be the contact for new families that were diagnosed with food allergies or anyone that had a question. So I'm most proud of the fact that we were able to get support for families and children who have food allergies, connecting them with other families so that on a daily basis, they could have an improved quality of life.
Dr. Davis' goal in her life, in her career, is to make sure children with food allergies are safe. For example, Cameron, my daughter, is allergic to food allergies. You want to tell everybody what you're allergic to?
I'm allergic to peanuts, tree nuts, fish, and sesame.
And so as Dr. Davis's patient, Cameron is under her care and started a peanut immunotherapy process where she can now eat 1 or 2 peanuts several times a week to avoid the risk of an allergic reaction.
She's created a very warm and welcoming environment at the food allergy clinic and makes sure everyone feels safe and comfortable.
But more than that, she enabled us to become an advocate for other food allergy families who may not have the means or ability or sophistication to really understand food allergies. Dr. Davis also launched an annual food allergy symposium through Texas Children's Hospital. Part of what she does is she invites certain patients to be speakers. And she has invited Cameron to be a speaker. She has allowed Cameron to work with a food allergy program to create a series of videos that are used for new patients who are going through their immunotherapy. And so her impact has been more than just making Cameron safer and making us more confident that we can navigate food allergies. She's taught us the importance and the beauty of being involved in your community. And she's done that in a way that is really easy and simple for us because she's just always smiling, giving us a hug and thanking us for what we do to help her when she has no idea how she's changed our lives and made our lives better. She truly is a remarkable person with a heart as big as her brain, which is really, really big.
Winning the Beyond Duke Award is incredibly meaningful to me because Duke was the place where I learned how to be a physician, and it was the place where I developed a passion for what I'm doing today. This award also is meaningful because it reminds me the patients and the families that I seek to treat and make their lives better have noticed and appreciate that. I'm very appreciative to the Beyond Duke Award Committee for honoring me, and also for Mr. Andy Dillon, who nominated me. Thanks once again.
Leadership and service are intertwined, especially in those like Michael Sharp, who commit their lives to making an impact on the world at large. For Michael, his leadership and service began as an undergraduate in the class of '85, continued in the Duke Law class of '88, and fueled an extensive career in international law. His appreciation for the people whom he has encountered along the way, along with his personal leadership style, are examples for us all.
Mike is the Dean of the Case Western University School of Law and is the co-founder and managing director of the Public International Law and Policy Group, an NGO that was nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize. Mike has led transitional justice projects in Uganda, Ivory Coast, Libya, Turkey, Syria, and maritime piracy projects in Kenya, Mauritius, the Seychelles. Mike also served as special assistant to the prosecutor of the Cambodia Genocide Tribunal In addition to his extraordinary humanitarian work, Mike has authored more than 100 scholarly articles and 19 books, 3 of which have won National Book of the Year honors. As a teacher, Mike has received the Case Western Reserve University School of Law's Distinguished Teacher Award and Ohio Magazine's Excellence in Education Award. Mike is also the producer and host of Talking Foreign Policy, a radio program broadcast on NPR across the United States. Michael Scharf exemplifies the best of Duke. He is a hardworking leader, an exceptional intellectual, a generous teacher, and most importantly, a singular humanitarian who's made a difference in some of the most difficult places in the world.
I'm really humbled and thrilled to win this award because Duke launched me on my career. And I really feel I wouldn't be who I am and have been able to do the things that I've done if it wasn't for the background, the education, and the experiences that I got at Duke. From the very beginning, I've been committed to public service and especially trying to have an impact in the world at large. And while I was at Duke, I was president of the Model UN Club. I ran the National High School Model UN Conference, and I was the vice president of the student government, which were early ways that I learned the tools that I would later use when I became attorney advisor for UN affairs at the State Department, the founder of a NGO that was nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize, and then later the dean of a law school. I spent 7 years at Duke. They were the best 7 years of my life. I ended up with so many great experiences. I learned so much, and I even gained a wife who I've been married to for 34 years that I met at Duke. So Duke couldn't mean more to a person than it has to me.
When I knew Michael Scharf in graduate school, in law school, he was a very, very decent, fun, and genuine person. And he has taken those qualities, he has blossomed in every possible way. And he's done so not to aggrandize himself, not to advance his own career, although his career's been pretty good, but he's done it to make the world better. And I think that's the kind of thing that Duke should recognize and should honor. Congratulations, Mike. I know you love Duke, and it's great that Duke is acknowledging everything you've done for the Duke name. Very well deserved. Heartiest congratulations.
Phil Nichols is really, really kind. He and I started the Duke Journal of International Law together when we were 1Ls at the law school. And that journal is still going strong. It's a top 10 journal in the country. And that's part of our legacy. And I think he taught me then that one could make an impact in your community and in the world that has a lasting effect. And so the experiences with Phil and my colleagues and my professors way back then, they're what made me who I am today and gave me these opportunities. And it's been a wonderful ride. There are a lot of pathways to effective leadership. And the one that I chose to pursue has been leading by example, leading by being friendly and warm, and leading by trying to inspire others to be the best that they can be. And as a law school dean and in some of the other positions that I've had, those I've found to be the best pathway for me.
Often, the stories of the Beyond Duke Award winners are about relationships. And Howard John Wesley, class of '94, is someone whose life of service and ministry has touched tens of thousands. So whether they are devoted church members or long-distance listeners, his own 2 sons, or a former president, Howard John Wesley has inspired people through word and through example. And he credits those relationships, many of which began at Duke, with making him the leader he is today.
Pastor Wesley is a senior pastor of the Alpha Street Baptist Church, an historic church in Alexandria, Virginia, founded by free slaves in 1803. He has taken the church to new heights. Under his leadership, the church has grown to approximately 10,000 members, and he has won numerous awards for his preaching and teaching. He's also been honored to speak at the Congressional Black Caucus prayer breakfast, and had the honor of having President Obama visit Alfred Street Baptist Church twice, the only church in America to do so during his presidency.
I had a wonderful Easter morning at the Alfred Street Baptist Church, and I want to thank Pastor Wesley for his leadership. Pastor, outstanding sermon.
Two very important things I'd like people to know about Pastor Wesley. One, he really is a selfless leader. Under his leadership, Alfred Street Baptist Church was the only church in the United States to be a founding member of the Smithsonian National Museum for African American History and Culture with an over $1 million gift. I thought that was a selfless gift that the church did. But the most important thing about Howard is that he really loves his boys, Deuce and Cooper. They are the lights of his life and his reason for being, and they should really be proud of him for winning this Beyond Duke award.
Dr. Howard John Wesley is deserving of this award for many reasons. Let me start by saying that I've never met him personally, but I have been listening to him weekly since 2020 through his online sermons at his church in Alexandria, Virginia, the Alfred Street Baptist Church. Because of his powerful weekly messages and commitment to service, he is deserving of this recognition. There are a lot of ministers who lead churches that do great things and who enjoy a robust television presence. Dr. Wesley leads a large church that does a lot of good for others with a humility that is rare. He is one of the most outstanding preachers I have heard in my lifetime, and I am grateful to a friend from my own church, which I love dearly, who encouraged me to listen to him. And he takes the opportunity to talk about his beloved Duke Blue Devils in his sermons from time to time, and that is truly heartwarming for a Dookie. His commitment to service is an example for everyone. I am so proud to be an alumna of Duke with fellow alumni who make it their business to make the world a better place and to do good. He's done so much to support just people who are just not a part of the community, but the church has found a way to serve those in the broader community. Dr. Wesley spoke that people erroneously believe that faith is about their relationship to God, but true faith requires concern about others. And that's just an example of what I love about Dr. Wesley's sermons. He shares his gift and his talent, and he shows his concern for others in ways seen and unseen.
And Pastor Wesley, I'd like to really congratulate you for winning the Beyond Duke Service Leadership Award. I mean, you've touched so many lives all over the world with 60,000 people tuning into your sermons every weekend. You are more than deserving of this award. You've touched many, many lives, both at Duke and outside of Duke and throughout the world. I just couldn't be happier for you, and so glad to call you my friend as well as my pastor.
This award probably is at the top of any recognition I think I've received for a few reasons. Number one, it's something you never see coming. You know, when I was an undergrad at Duke, you know, I was there for the basketball, I was there for engineering. Never in my life did I even see myself as a preacher while I was at Duke. Secondly, you know, most of the recognition in my life and my career has come from religious organizations and organizations for justice like the NAACP. But to be recognized by my alma mater for something I wasn't even doing when I was on the campus, but to realize that maybe Duke is as proud of me as I am of being a Duke alum, puts it way up there. I'm really humbled and honored that my alma mater, my college, my university would recognize the work and say, you know, we applaud you. And to be embraced, to be recognized as Duke is a huge honor for me. It's funny, I have a son who's getting ready to apply to college, and I keep trying to push him towards Duke University. And he asked me why. And I had to tell him quite honestly, son, those 4 years at Duke University, those 4 years starting at All-Spa on East Campus and making my way to Central Campus and enjoying being on the yard, those were the best 4 years of my life. To be in an environment of educational excellence, to be in an environment of athletic excellence, to be in an environment with so many people who are going to eventually change the world, you don't really know what that's doing to you when you're 18 and 19 and 20. But as I look back, sitting here at 50, at those years, they formed me in some amazing ways. Number one, they put me in a relationship with colleagues and friends that I still hold near and dear today. You know, that Duke network is real. And I share that with my sons to let them know that your alumni circle is critical. And Duke puts you in that right alumni circle. But then finally, the confidence that was built within me at Duke. When you come through those 4 years, you kind of leave believing that whatever you put your hands to, you can do. Although my career field changed, but there's just something about having that Duke degree on the wall that I'm extremely proud of, something that helps build a confidence. I can walk in any room with a Harvard grad or a Stanford grad, at a Yale grad, with a Princeton grad, and still argue that my school's better than all y'all's put together. So Duke put me in the right circle of friends, put me in the right circle of colleagues, and it really built a confidence in me that I've carried on since 1994 when I graduated. And if I had to do it all again, I still would apply right back to Duke. It's the only college I applied to, went early decision, and I wouldn't change a thing.
Amy Hepburn is a graduate of the class of '97, and she also earned a master's from the Sanford School of Public Policy in 2001. Amy has devoted her career to creating positive change in the lives of women and girls globally through quality education. She draws motivation from those whom she serves, and at the same time, it is clear that her commitment and her example are a positive motivation for others. Through her service and her leadership, Amy is a force multiplier for good.
Children around the world are better off because of Amy Hepburn. She's the kind of person who has spent most of her life trying to understand the problems and challenges that children face in areas of conflict, in places that have severe health disparities. And she's used that knowledge to help advance progress on a grand scale in a way that has changed the lives of countless people all over the world. Amy is a recognized expert on humanitarian action and the care of children in crisis. She has spent 20 years driving social change globally in the private, nonprofit, and public sectors through the creation of unique public-private partnerships and venture investing for impact-driven social returns. She is a seasoned strategic social impact advisor with an expertise on gender lens social investments and the care of children in adversity. Her portfolio consists of visionary individuals, companies, foundations, and venture philanthropists seeking innovative, community-driven solutions to persistent social issues. Her partnerships include governments, community, and international NGOs, the United Nations High Commissioner of Refugees in Geneva, Refugee Children's Unit, the United States Department of State, Displaced Children and Orphans Fund, and the United States Agency for International Development, Office of HIV/AIDS. She is also the Executive Director of Women One, a nonprofit devoted to creating positive change in the lives of women and girls globally through quality education.
I have worked with Amy for over 10 years. I have never worked with somebody that is so tenacious, so kind, so generous, so smart, so many things in one package. She is a person who leads with her heart. She has been an incredible asset for Women One. We have struggled a lot, we have thought a lot, we have built a lot, and we have laughed a lot. It started out as a work partner and ended up as a best friend. She is the real deal. She is very deserved of this honor and award and your attention, and I can't wait to see all the things Amy is going to do in this world.
To talk about Amy in terms of service and leadership, you first have to define the terms. And the kind of leadership that I care the most about is what Amy does. And that is people that go out and do create benefits for other people in the world, usually in collaboration with other people. So she did this as a TA in my class. She did this as a grad student in the Hart Leadership Program. And anything she gets involved in has to do with service and leadership. And it's really service leadership is the way to say it. The Duke experience that brings out the best in students. And the key here is it's beyond, it's not limited to knowledge and critical analysis development. It includes social psychological objectives of becoming a better person. Amy, you embody those aspirations.
I am so proud of my mom for receiving the Beyond Duke Award. There is no one more deserving than her. She is such a role model and inspiration to me and my 3 siblings. This past summer, I had the privilege of going to Haiti and Kenya with her, and I saw her work firsthand, focused on the care of children in crises as well as girls' education. It was so special for us to do this work together. When I go to Duke next year, I am so excited to follow in her footsteps.
My time at Duke really awakened my global consciousness. And my 4 years on campus were extremely pivotal in helping me both understand the questions I was looking to address, but also feel empowered to learn the skills that I needed to try to make a difference. So it was during my time where I was exposed to a variety of different social issues, many of them global, and really encouraged to, in partnership with my professors, in partnership with my peers, really challenge myself to look at what was my role in trying to make this world a better place, and how was I going to do this in both a thoughtful and constructive way. These opportunities to learn from the best of the best has just been just such a gift, and it's just one of the many ways Duke has continued to give back to me over the years. And they really, they taught me not to underestimate the power of my common sense. And probably most importantly, they taught me the power of listening. As I've worked with children in the most challenging situations in the world, and by being able to truly build relationships with them and listen to them, I've been able to see even the most difficult situations be overcome with a child's hope and resilience. And that is what keeps me motivated, and that's what keeps me in this work. So my call to action to you today is to never underestimate your ability to make a positive difference, and never give up. The world needs you today and tomorrow. We got this.
What a powerful message. I am humbled by the incredible and selfless accomplishments of every one of these 6 Blue Devils. Each, in their own way, has leveraged their experience at Duke to use their knowledge, their passions, in service to society. I hope you too are inspired to do the same. Congratulations once again to each of our honorees, and thanks to all of you for joining me for this year's Beyond Duke Awards.